Aloha all. It's Samana with Unconventional Insights. We're in December, the time of Sag, all the fires out. This is exciting. So I struggled with what am I doing my podcast on this week? I just wasn't feeling anything. Then I started hearing a couple people, my mom and some of my clients, and talking about how already it's only the beginning of December and they're starting to feel that Christmas stress. And I'm thinking, what has happened to the planet that this holiday causes stress and so much unhappiness? It's not the intention of it. I look at the holiday means to me getting together with friends and family, eating food that you like, sharing time together, lots of different colored lights and shiny tinsel and garland and laughing and having fun and just being together. It's not about spending money. So we need to remember this. So the blessing for me is this year personally, I'm a bit financially deficient more than I have been in past years because I'm building a new business. I'm in a new community that I'm just getting known. I'm doing my meetups every month. I love that. I'm starting to meet more people, and it's allowed me to uncover every inner gift or skill that I didn't know I had, just to approach this new world of starting over. It's never too late. I'm 50 something. Who cares? So it's never too late to start over, to change careers, to do what you truly love. And this is my blessing for everyone that's supporting me out there by listening to my podcasts, my family, my friends, my father, my partners, my daughter and son, and everyone, dogs, friends. Like starting a new business, as I said, it's challenging, but it's everything I love. I feel totally blessed that every client that I counsel, every workshop that I teach, everything that I'm offering people and changing lives with insight, with my writings, with my podcasts, is what I've wanted my entire life. So I have life purpose and I feel so blessed. Anyways, let's get back to this. This is the 23rd podcast. I'm calling this A Memorable Christmas. So this is not about looking at materialism. It's about, I'm looking at my emails. I'm sure this is happening to all of you out there. Since Thanksgiving, I've had so many emails that I'm taking almost 10 minutes a day to unsubscribe. And I'm still getting 60 to 80 emails of stuff I don't even know who sold my emails to who, because it's just so ridiculous about here's, Cyber Monday, here's Black Friday, here's pre-Thursday, here's like Giving Tuesday. Giving Tuesday, I love that. But anyways, so it's not about money. It's about the spirit, for you to really think, what were your happiest times growing up? Or what was one of the best Christmases you ever had? And what made it so wonderful? And really stop and think about that. Really contemplate that question and see what was the quality about it and how can you bring that to yourself. If you live alone and you're on your own and you're single, and you just have your cat or your roommate or whoever, your dog, or if you're filled with friends, with partnership, with marriage, with kids, small kids, older kids, you and your parent, however it is, find ways to bring that true memorable Christmas, that true Christmas spirit this year. Because with the politics and everything going on out there, it's crazy. I'm telling you, that I'm finding, where I always read the latest news every day, that I have very little tolerance for it, that there's not enough reserve in me to deal with all the confusion and garbage out there. So I'm actually giving myself permission to have a fast from politics for a while until I see anything concrete that really matters. I mean, I still glance and I still read part of my articles because I can't stay in the dark. I think it's our personal responsibility to know what's happening. But when I'm like the other day reading this long article right before bed, I'm thinking, I stopped myself. What am I doing? How am I going to sleep after reading that? So just allowing that spirit of the essence of community, of connection, of like spending time with the people you love most. Like that's what it's about. Like I want to have an open house, a little potluck open house. So it doesn't cost anyone too much on the 21st at my house. If you're anywhere in South Austin between 2 and 9 o'clock at night, I go to bed early. Like I just want people to stop by. Hopefully I'm going to make cookies with my daughter beforehand, so we'll have something for you. And I just want to see people. I just want hugs. I want to just check in for a minute, laugh, hold hands, just see everybody I love. That's what I want for Christmas. Okay, so let's get back to this. So some of the things this year for myself is learning how to do this podcast process, writing a lot and trying to learn editing, which is not my strong spot, learning marketing and online skills. I never thought I'd need to learn any of this stuff. But all of these challenges this year, and we could look at this, and I'm giving you my personal experience because if you had a hard year, or if you're in a bad place right now thinking everything's stuck, everything's too much, everything's heavy, everything's overwhelming, I want you to see that if we look at our challenges with a new view, that a challenge is an opportunity to pull something from deep within yourself, to pull a skill and an ability that perhaps you've never brought out before to meet the circumstance. And the more new things that are happening, if we could be kind to ourselves and not beat ourselves up, these accomplishments are doing several things. It does two very important things. The first is, as I've always said, doing something new is creating new neural pathways in our brain. So it's keeping our cognitive ability bright and alert and on. And the second thing is it's building our self-confidence and our self-worth. So taking on new challenges or learning how to open our view to change our perspective is a step towards greater awareness, feeling more satisfaction and ease in my life, and it's soothing to the heart in our lives, and it's soothing to the heart. So I'm here to show you, let's look at this whole holiday session, this season, as something to look forward to, not how much money it's going to cost you. Let's pretend everybody's on a material fast. And what if I challenged all of you listening to this, even with little kids or teenagers saying they want these $300 games and all this other stuff? What if you try this, have a family meeting, see how this would be? Because this is what I guarantee. If you're used to spending money on your family and your friends and your kids and your parents and all of that stuff, in place of you personally showing up with quality time, and even if they live at a distance, even a phone call. Like, let's plan where we both have our coffee or we both have our glass of wine, and we either do FaceTime or we do a phone call, and we just schedule it in to catch up. I do that with my friends. I have my friend and we have a meeting Sunday to catch up. I haven't talked to her in a while. She's living in Boston. Like, I plan phone dates to catch up with people I care about. I want to know what's happening in their lives. So do that. But I'm given personal time instead of here's this money. So now I want you to look at this, try this exercise. Look at any circumstance that you are in right now that may be challenging or frustrating or feels like it's not changing in any way. And I want you to make a list of at least 3 things, if not more, but a minimum of 3 things that you're learning from this, or how is it affecting you in a positive way? How are you growing from this? So the challenging circumstance that you are labeling as frustrating, as I can't get anywhere, I don't want to talk about it. I want you to now do homework or in your journal, and I want you to write at least 3 things you're learning different about yourself. How are you showing up differently or responding, or what have you learned that you can crystallize in a positive way so that you so it's not just a waste of time. This is how we have to do this. So giving the mind questions to ponder. Excuse me. A few of these, there's some mold in the air. I could tell I have these allergies today. Anyways, giving the mind questions to ponder keeps our mind focused and keeps us out of trouble, keeps the mind out of trouble, so it stops its relentless beating us up and criticizing us that we're not doing enough, we're not good enough. It goes on and on. Give the mind deep contemplative questions so that it has focus throughout the day, throughout the week. Whenever you notice it's beating you up, okay, now back to Christmas. Regardless of if you have a lot of money or not, what about challenging yourself to give more personal effort of quality time to those that you love instead of material objects and stuff? Stuff just breaks, it gets lost, we lose interest. Yet spending time with someone you care about covers most people's primary love language. Since this is my top love language, quality time, I'm a master at offering ideas that don't cost money or is minimal investment to having fun with someone. So, unfortunately, when I was running my business and being a single mom, single parent, I often used material things to compensate by buying expensive gifts for my daughter or family or friends, or too many things, too much stuff. And what I found was what I sacrificed was actual presence of moment, was actual giving of myself and my undivided attention, because I was spread too thin. And although I've always been conscious to a point, yet I am hoping I'm continually evolving in more presence and awareness. I hope that's the goal for all of us. I know that I missed out on moments by saying, here's a gift, by getting caught up into what am I going to buy? How am I going to wow them? They're going to love that. And again, it's the moment. Like, think of the moment of opening. My daughter wanted a new computer. What is that like? That moment of, isn't this fabulous? And the next moment, it passes. But to have several moments where you're doing something together that matters, that you're just enjoying each other and laughing and sharing and talking story and catching up, that matters so much more. But even with my busyness, I always made certain I did little habits that I always incorporated come holiday time when it came to my daughter, Miley. So when she was younger, we would spend a day of baking. Of course, she's a pastry chef now, but we would make cookies, or we would spend time decorating. So depending on your children's age, if they're very young, I would say for the younger kids, it's easier that you make the cookies, but you could let them do the cookie cutter. Even 2 and 3-year-olds to a point can do that, and it's fun. 2-year-olds pushing it. 3 and 4-year-olds can do it. So help them with the cookie cutter, and then you trim it for them, and then bake it, and then let them decorate it. But I want to remind you of something, parents out there, or even if you're doing this with your niece and nephew or your grandkids or whatever, is don't get attached to the outcome of what the cookie looks like, right? It doesn't matter. This is about them being creative and discovering what their own little style is. This is about having fun, not doing it right. Don't draw within the lines. Let's go beyond the lines. Let's not create sheep. Let's cultivate uniqueness and cleverness and creative and all of that fun stuff. Okay, so another idea, if they're old enough to operate a camera. I love this. So each person has a camera. So if you're doing it with your partner, if you're doing this with a family, if you're doing with a group of friends, and what you do is you decide as a group, if it's a group of you or in partnership, on a destination. And again, in partnership, all of you have a phone with great cameras on it. So this can apply even to there. It makes it very easy. So you decide on the destination, if it's going to be outdoors, if it's going to be at a mall with people watching or in your neighborhood, and come up with a theme. Maybe, for instance, the theme could be happy people, where you're going to capture smiles or fun moments from strangers at the mall or as they're walking around. Or say the theme is our neighborhood, and the pictures are of as many images that show what you love about your neighborhood. And again, for kids, this gives you lots of insight. This could be very fun. Also, if the weather's bad, since it changes on the mainland all the time, you can do this in your home with the theme of why I love my home. And if you're in an apartment or a huge house with a backyard or whatever it is, everybody has a camera or they have their phone. And what you do is you download it on your computer or you look through the phone, and you could either as a group or together decide which ones are the best. And then you have them printed up. You could go to CVS, you could go to Walmart. There are so many places that do cheap printing of photos once you've decided what you want. And then you come home. So this could all be done in one day, or this could be done over 2 different events of fun and adventure. And then you buy photo albums. I know, a little outdated, but wonderful, and kids love this. So do big kids. I love photo albums. So you either put together a photo album together as a family, as a couple, as friends, or you can make a collage together of the pictures you decided, and you could even cut the pictures up so that they're different shapes on a collage. Now, if your kids are old enough, everyone can make their own on their computers or whatever, and then share it when you're done. And everybody says, okay, it's your turn to share, and then it's your turn to share, and that's wonderful. And it becomes fun because it's creative. You're spending time together. You're creating stories about what happened when, and when you took that picture and how that woman looked at you, and it just becomes wonderful. Now, I want to share a Miley story about my daughter. The first time, I think it was the first time we went to Paris, and she was either 11 or 12. And she had a digital camera, and she was taking pictures all the time, just these random things, wherever. Here's one of the greatest cities in the world. And we're downtown in Paris, and we're at the Palace of Versailles, and all of these things. And I'm like, she wanted the camera, so I'm like, take the picture of this, take the picture of that. I'm like, Miley, here's the king's, bed, take that picture. I'm like, here's the Hall of Mirrors, take that picture. And at the end of the day, I'm in our hotel, and I'm looking through the camera. And I'm like, Miley, what have you done? Like, you didn't get any of the pictures I wanted you to get. And I start deleting all these pictures thinking she's wasted all this time. So this is embarrassing for me to admit, but I learned something from it. So I want to admit it for any of you. It's all about honesty. So as I'm looking through these pictures that she chose to be important as opposed to your typical click and shoot that everyone would say, oh, that's nice, and then move through it because it won't hold your interest. I'm looking through them and I'm seeing, okay, for instance, she took a picture of this stuffed rabbit in the corner of one of the bedrooms. Not of the bed or the bedroom, but this stuffed rabbit that you could barely see on the floor off in the corner. Or there was one picture she had, which were the metal spikes on the top of the roofs in Paris. And they have these big spikes coming out to keep the pigeons off. So I'm like, she saw that and she would do it at an angle, not even the full roof, just a portion, like a corner with the spikes. And I finally get to this one picture. So I'm deleting these. You got to know I'm just deleting these because here's my little closed-minded view that I know how pictures should be, and she's ruined this. And then I get this lightning bolt, this revelation in me. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. Instead of what I think she should have taken, I start looking at the pictures she's taken, and I see a part of my daughter at 11 years old that I never saw before. Here's this kind of quiet, takes a while to warm up to you sort of little girl that had such an eye. It's like I gave birth to my own Fellini. I see this one picture she took that I still think should be printed up in a museum somewhere. It was so brilliant. And it was in Paris, in the street. She found this old pacifier that fell in the gutter. And there was just this perfect classic shot that said so much behind the picture of this pacifier in the gutter of the streets of Paris. That said so much more than here's this big golden statue, or here's this famous museum, the Louvre. There's a million pictures of those. So, I'm grateful my consciousness eventually kicked in, and I realized that my daughter is brilliant, and she continued being brilliant. And after that point, because I so deeply apologized, Miley, I am sorry that I deleted any of your pictures. You are an incredible artist. You're an incredible visionary. And she continued to take pictures throughout her life. When she first got her license and her first car, I'm sorry about my coughing. There was this one picture where she took of her reflection in the side mirror of her sitting in her car. And it wasn't a selfie. It was the reflection of her in the side mirror. It was so brilliant and creative. I was so proud of her. It was wonderful. Anyways, so allow your kids to be creative. Learn something about your partners, your friends, whoever, how they're sharing their pictures. This is how we see. How is someone's view, right? All of us, if we were all looking at the same thing, the same object, we'd all describe it in a different way because we all have a different view. So through pictures, we really get to see that uniqueness of how the people we care about see things. And I think it's a wonderful thing. So using that as an adventure, a camera adventure. Okay, other ideas of bringing in this memorable Christmas. Another idea is like with older kids or mothers, aunts, grandmas, your daughters. This could also be for sons. This is not just a feminine thing, is to have a tea party or a Christmas tea. My stepmother, Nance, raised Miley since she was 2 years old with tea parties, and my daughter appreciates it a lot. I love high teas. I love going to London and having high teas. We've had many tea parties. Some of my graduations for my esthetician program, we would celebrate with a high tea. But you could do this with your friends and basically get some type of holiday cinnamony, gingery tea and make your little cucumber cream cheese sandwiches where you cut off the crusts, of course. My daughter was always, make sure you cut off the crust, Mommy. Yes, that was important. And then you can make scones with little jam, like strawberry jam is pretty classic. and clotted cream or a lemon curd. That's very English. If this is more for adults, then you do all of that, yet you have it with champagne. Everybody gets to dress up in their finest attire with their pearls, their hats, however, and just have fun. Have a fun Christmas tea party. So that's an idea. Now, with your partner, again, instead of spending so much money and just getting caught in the busyness, I love to go for drives. I've done this with my dad, with my daughter, my kids forever, where you just go driving through the neighborhoods with all the Christmas lights up. Or you find a wonderful neighborhood that has everybody participating with their Christmas decorations at night, and get out of the car and take a walk hand in hand, snuggling. Bring a thermos of something you enjoy drinking, hot chocolate or eggnog with brandy or cognac or however you roll. But that's a wonderful thing to do. Also, a thing is having a craft party. So this is where you're making ornaments or so I always did this. For Thanksgiving, we always had a lot of people. We'd have anywhere from 12 to 20 people for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. And I'm starting, as I said, this year I had 8 for Thanksgiving. I feel like I'm starting to arrive in Austin, and the more people I have, there's power in numbers. I love that. That's my big Italian family way, is to have my friends and family gathered with me. But always while Miley was growing up, because kids get bored and it's a long time to wait for the food to come and the adults want to socialize and not want to get irritated, is that I had a separate room with lots of plastic tablecloths and everything prepared. And I'd either buy those little fake mini trees, they're like a foot high, and you could get them from like Hobby Lobby or from the dollar store, or you could get wreaths. Again, they have them fairly cheaply. And random decorations where you could have the parents bring decorations, or you could buy some cheap things. And you have the kids tell them how this works, and everybody has their own tree to decorate. So Thanksgiving, this was wonderful because here it is the day after and it's all about Christmas now. But to have a little tree for their bedroom, or a wreath for their bedroom, or a wreath for the door. And all along they're sharing stories, you're playing Christmas music, they're catching up, you're laughing. It's a wonderful thing to do. So, other things when you're doing these. So I often would buy just the blank ornaments, and then I would buy non-toxic paints with little paint brushes and things, or we would have glue, Elmer's glue, or you could do glue guns if they're a little older, all kinds of glitter. All this stuff is at the dollar store. And again, there's so many treasures that you could have around your house, like in old junk drawers. Like, see how creative you can get. You could have a group of friends get together and everybody brings their costume jewelry, which some of that costume jewelry is a fortune nowadays. It's amazing, but you come and you repurpose all this jewelry. You could make necklaces or bracelets or little pins or earrings. And the clasps and the tools are all cheap. Again, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, stores like that, it's very inexpensive. I still have my little jeweler tools, and they don't cost a lot at all. And I'm sure all of this is on Amazon too, but not thinking in terms of going overboard and spending so much money. Again, remember, this is about, like, have everybody chip in and bring what they have. We usually have so much garbage in our life and hidden in closets, in linen closets, in our garage, and just start picking through that stuff and see how can you repurpose it. Often, so you could do another thing where people, like amongst friends or family, where everybody finds a gift, a used gift, right? So this is like your white elephant or your but it's a repurposed gift. So you find a gift that you have, something that you no longer need or care about, and you decide who is the one person. Like if it's a big group of family members or a big group of friends, everybody picks a name out of the hat. But for you to take something that's still of value, but you don't have to buy it. It's something like, be it if it's a dress, or if it's a piece of jewelry, or if it's a statue, or a painting you have, or who knows what it will be. And that is something where everyone agrees, let's take something that belongs to us that we're going to wrap beautifully and give to the person that we choose to exchange gifts with. That's another thing to do. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, a couple other ideas because I know we're at the 30-minute marker. So another fun holiday adventure is going for a hike and finding the most unusual, the most amount, or the biggest pine cones. In Maui, we'd go to Puli Puli Forest. We did this every year since Miley was young till she was older. When I was single, I did this with my friend or whoever I was dating. And I'd go up there and we'd find these pine cones and bring them home and decorate them around our house. It's a wonderful game for kids because, again, you're keeping their mind focused. Okay, who's going to find the most pine cones? Or if you don't want to bring 20 pine cones home, then say, who's going to find the biggest one or the prettiest one or most unique one? You could just frame it however you want. But this is a beautiful thing. And then pack a lunch, pack a little picnic lunch with your favorite drinks and snacks, and make a day of it. And for my Hawaii listeners out there, again, either go to Puli Puli because it's 20 degrees in the wintertime up high enough in Puli Puli or at the crater. So we have cold if we want it. But you could go to the beach and you could do this same adventure where you're looking for shells, where there's not always a lot of shells, but there's different unique rocks, or there's polished glass pieces where everybody collects that, or whatever things of nature that are not live that you can find, and then you share that with your kids, with your partner, with your friends when you get home, and then either get like a cheap $2 glass jar that you put it in, or something creative that you turn it into a decoration. Okay, so this is my favorite holiday quality time craft or idea. So this is where you get a jar, like a mason jar, or any kind of jar, and you decorate it, and you write on it, blessings jar. So, together with your partner, with your friends, with your parents, with your kids, with just yourself, I've done this with myself for years, that you sit down, everybody has their pieces of paper and their pen, and you think of throughout the year all the blessings that you have. And with each positive thing that you could think of that happened to you, if your kids got an A on their paper, or if they hit a home run in their sports, or if your partner got that job they always wanted to, you're finally living in the house of your dreams, or that you met each other, or you finally taught the workshop you've wanted to since you were 20-something years old. All of those are blessings. So think of every blessing that you can, and on individual pieces of paper, you put it on the paper and you fold it up and put it in the blessing jar. And then on New Year's Eve or on New Year's Day, you read this together. For myself, because I've done this for years, one of my students actually gave me this blessing jar 6 years ago. It was very sweet of her, and she decorated it with nice little gold glitter. I love my gold. And every year I would do this. So throughout the year, because I keep it on my mantle above my fireplace, if in the future, once you have your blessing jar, throughout the year, as something positive and beautiful and blessed happens to you, to write it down and put the date on it. And if more than one person is adding to that blessing jar, have them put their name on it and fold up that paper and put it in that jar. And remember, so this is a way that throughout the year you could hold each other accountable, where you're like, okay, that was a blessing. Did you put it in the jar? Instead of life is hard, nothing good happens to me. Because we all have blessings, no matter how challenging life can be. And this is where I want you to keep your mind, in that expansive awareness, in that gratitude, in that I'm happy to be alive place. So, blessings with that. So, I had my appendix taken out this year. I'm grateful it didn't burst. I'm grateful I healed so quickly. I'm grateful I got to go back to Ohio and spend a week with my family and my mom, and it was a great visit. Like so many blessings happen from a crisis. And just to remember to spin your mind in the way to gratitude, to open that up. So doing that is a beautiful thing. So it's a beautiful tradition to have time spent together. And it reminds us that even when life is hard, there are always blessings to focus on. So remember that. Let's make this the greatest Christmas spirit, authentic spirit ever. Don't think in terms of materialism. Think in terms of time spent. And even if you have teenagers and older kids that are used to materialism, because this is how it is, I guarantee if you think of something that they really enjoy and you go do it with them, that will mean more to them one-on-one, your attention with them, than anything you could buy them. So we have to reprogram them, get them in their heart, and take away the patterns of the bad habits we got into with money. Okay, I'm going to talk about some of my workshops, bringing business up here. So I do have my microneedling workshop in Maui. I'm going home for a visit. I'm so excited after 5 years. January 13th at the Temple of Peace in Haiku. That's $250, and it's from 10 to 3. So that's microneedling, nano needling, and I need a $125 deposit via Venmo, like ASAP, because I'm almost sold out of those spots. I'm only taking 10 people. So contact me, 808-283-7587. You'll see me, Samana Benedetti, on Venmo, or I have so many ways you could pay me. So contact me. And if you know of someone that might be interested, please tell them about it. Or someone going to Maui that time, there you go. And it does come with a certification. I also sell the microneedling starter kit, so that comes with a medical grade microneedling derma pen. I've used mine for 4.5 years. This is a strong, exceptional, it's the same model they sell to physicians, except with your starter kit, you get 5 nano needles if you're an esthetician, because that's what we legally use. And then you have 5 of the micro needles, and then it comes with hyaluronic acid serum and an oxygen serum that are just pharmaceutical grade high quality, and that's $11.95. I actually need you to, if you're interested in this, to order it. At least contact me and pay for that, order that within the next couple of weeks if you want it by the end of the year or the beginning of January, because it's going to be on back order. I just talked to him. He had 6 and my manufacturer, and he sold them all. So he's placing another order for 5. And I'm like, I think that's going to sell out. So if you're interested, contact me. Also, in January, after we've eaten all the sugar and carbs and alcohol and cookies, and it goes on and on and on for the holidays, your body will be screaming at you wanting to do a cleanse and get healthy for 2020 and be at your best optimum sharpness and open-heartedness. And we do a 30-day cleanse, my customized cleanse, and we're going to do physical, mental, emotional detox, and that comes with lectures. So I'm doing this in-house. I'm only taking 6 people, and this is going to be Thursday nights from 6:30 to 9. and I'll have your little alkaline broth soup to serve while we're doing this. And each week we're going to do movement and meditation. We're going to check in. Then I'm going to do a lecture on education of this, and that is for 4 weeks. That's going to be January 23rd, 30th, February 6th, and 13th. That is $300 a person. Now, this is also something that I offer a certification for. That's called Total Client Renovation Certification, and that's for anyone in the healthcare profession, so estheticians, massage therapists, life coaches, nurses, personal trainers, all of that. Now, this is for now, and we do one-on-one. We could do it via Skype, FaceTime, or Messenger. And again, that's going to be 2 hours a week for 4 weeks with this customized full-on tech support to get you through this and alter it. It does come with supplements. That's an additional cost. So right now I'm charging $500. I am raising that to $750 as of February 1st. So if that is something you want to do for this certification for your own, either to help clients or for yourself, pre-order that now, and then we'll schedule it whenever you're ready throughout the year. So, yes, and I have a whole packet that my nephew and my friend David, with their support, with their skills, their Capricornian skills, they're helping me be so refined and polished. And so, yes, I have that packet to send to you once you sign up for that. Also, I have David Garrison and I are teaching our first one was extremely successful. I talked to 3 of the women last night. They've all had incredible success still. They're still unwinding and learning everything they've learned, still processing everything from their workshop. But we're doing one on February 8th and 9th. That's a Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 5 with a healthy lunch included. And it is an intensive. And that is $300 or 2 people. I don't care if it's a couple or friends for $500. So this is singles and couples are welcome. It's highly beneficial. We're going to teach you so many exercises and conscious communication skills. You're going to process your past. You're going to clear out everything that doesn't work. You're going to define what you want, who you are, what you need, and you are going to have the ideal relationship, regardless if you're already in it. You're going to redefine it, or if you want to create something new. And finally, I've been getting a lot of insight counseling clients. I love that. I feel my purpose so fulfilled. So if you or you want to bless someone you know of that needs a new perspective and a more fulfilling life, my sessions are $100 for an hour or 2 sessions for $150. And again, I won't turn anyone away. I will offer a sliding scale if you need it. I don't spend a lot of time with anyone. We usually get to things fairly quickly. The longest I've ever needed to counsel anyone is 8 consecutive sessions. And so, yeah, we bottom line it pretty quick. That's what makes me different from most people. And we're going to redirect you in the right way. So I hope that this podcast, this topic, was inspiring. I hope that you're challenged to do something different this holiday.